My name is Kevin Cureton, and you're watching Get to Know Me.
So today I'm here with Solesence Chief Operating Officer, Kevin Cureton, and today we're going to be talking about sunscreen, specifically cutting edge and mineral sunscreen. Solesence works with brand partners to develop and manufacture safe, highly effective beauty products that promote skin health. They also help people and companies create their own dream product, which I think is awesome. And if you know me, you know that I love sunscreen, and I'm super excited to be speaking with you today, Kevin. So great to have you.
Well, thanks, Ashley. It's great to be here.
Good. So you've been working in the skincare industry for years. You began working with the company Nanophase Technology in 2012, and then branching off into Solesence as the Chief Operating Officer. So you definitely know a plethora about science-based beauty and skincare. Why is it so important for consumers to have science-based and backed skincare products?
That's a great question. So first of all, as I see it, it really starts with making sure that what you use on your skin, the largest organ on your body, is safe and healthy for you to use. That doesn't mean that it's made of any one thing, whether it's chemical or mineral or synthetic or natural or botanical. It means that it is in fact healthy. And that way that you'll know that it's healthy is that science has been used to verify the health. The right type of science, not testing on animals and that kind of thing. That's not the right type of science for the world that we live in. But science that really has verified that it will do the things that it's supposed to do or claims to do, and also that it won't be toxic to you or to your body. It behaves well. Those ingredients in that formula behave well with other ingredients in the formula so that strange things don't happen. And there's all kinds of work that goes behind that. So that's really where the science-based skincare or science-based beauty products come from, is to make sure that, number one, as I see it, that they are safe to use. The second is obviously being effective for use, that there's a benefit. There's absolutely should be a benefit of being joyful and enjoyable. But if they're claimed to provide a specific benefit, that they have verified that benefit is being provided. And that's where, again, science comes into play, where testing is being done in a really controlled manner to help to understand the benefits that can come from those products, and that those claims are in fact been validated in some meaningful way.
Yeah, I think that is an excellent point because there's a lot of, I guess, fake science going out there, or it's not, there's claims and stuff like that. And then there's a lot of products that still test on animals. So I think those are excellent points. And following up with that question, what exactly is Solesence?
Yeah, great question again. So our company, the way we like to describe it is that we build award-winning skincare and makeup products for brands that feature SPF. So we lead that by saying that we want these products to be special, number one. And that's what we try and do, is invest a lot in terms of creating wonderful textures, wonderful aesthetics, how it feels on your skin, how it looks on your skin, as really one of the primary attributes to the products that we build. And we then build those truly in terms of creating them in a lab with our brand partners, and then actually manufacturing them so that they can bring them to market as well. Typically, someone like that would be considered a contract manufacturer. We think that that minimizes the way that we try and go about business, that we really see us as a partner your development and manufacturing partner for the brands that we work with.
Yeah, I think that's excellent. And I think I do know a few brands that you've worked with, and I've tried one of their products, sunscreen products, and they're top notch.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, with everything we've been going through for the past 2 years, such as the
Mhm.
coronavirus, the Black Lives Matter movement, as well as the war going on, I believe personally being mindful and conscientious of yourself and around you is important. Why do you believe now more than ever is the time to be inclusive, specifically in skincare?
Well, it's long past time. I mean, you were kind to say I've only been in the business since 2012. I've been in the business for
Right, yeah.
almost 25 years.
Yes.
And, I can tell you that they're still, when you go to some of the events that you go to, particularly as you become more senior in the beauty industry, too often you get disappointed by two things. Number one, this business is 80% focused on caring for women, providing products to women. 80% of the consumers, maybe 90%, are women. And yet, when you look at some of the leading companies, the biggest companies, the biggest brands, not very many of them are led by women. So that tells me that, in an industry like this, there's still a whole lot of transition, some change that needs to happen in order to make sure that the consumers who are buying the products, who are the reason for the industry to be, are actually represented in the companies that are selling those products to the consumer. And the same thing happens not with women, but also with different people of color, people of different identities, and they are all part of the world that we live in, and they're not equally represented in the, for lack of a better way of saying it, the leadership of the companies, enough of the leadership of the companies that are around. So it's long past time, and I think the reason that it's now become even more compelling is that I guess folks have finally awakened. Some of the challenges that have happened over the last 2 years are sort of a revisit of some of the things that have happened in the past in the civil rights movement, and trying to reawaken everyone to the importance of inclusivity, not just in terms of the obvious elements of making sure you're representing your client, and really even making sure you're providing product that's specific to the client that you're serving, but that they also are represented in your organization. But they also now, there's been studies, McKinsey, the consulting firm, did a study that showed how it's good business too, that we're just missing out on a big part of the market by our industry not being as inclusive as it could be.
Yeah, I agree. And I think there's a big group of people that still don't think they need as much skin maintenance or skincare as maybe they do. And I think it's interesting because a lot of companies still cater to a certain group of people or from a certain background and stuff like that. So yeah. I think that's important.
And that's part of the challenge, I think, also is helping people to know that, first of all, if you don't provide products for people who aren't participating in the market, then they'll never participate in the market. So you have to be able to provide products for them. I think there's a lot of science. We talked a little bit about science earlier that suggests that, what we do in particular, where we're protecting from UV damage and environmental damage through beautiful products that people want to wear and use every day, that's fundamental. That's the foundation for healthy skin for people of all shades and tones and colors. And that is an important part of continuing, not just, which is important, our aesthetically pleasing appearance, but also our healthy appearance as well. Black people get cancer, skin cancer too.
Yes.
And you know, and so, you know, we don't want that to happen. And it's one of the things in our lives that is almost 100% preventable is skin cancer, and yet it is the most prevalent cancer that exists in the world. So it's something we can all do something about, and I think we should be doing something about, um, through creating products that are including everyone. And everyone wants to wear, everyone wants to enjoy.
So what's so special about Solesence is that your sunscreen is mineral sunscreen. On your website, it says our heart and soul is mineral SPF. Why is mineral sunscreen so good compared to like chemical sunscreen?
Yeah. So first I'll start by saying that what most dermatologists would say, I'm not a dermatologist, but what most dermatologists would say, and that is that if you're not going to wear, we want you to wear sunscreen, number one. So I never want to discourage anyone from wearing sunscreen. But, you know, we would tell people that mineral sunscreen is a great choice for most people, in large part because of it's very easy to use. It's very easy to wear. You don't have risk associated with skin being broken out. Stability of formulations is always a challenge, but the tolerability of the sunscreen itself is, in our opinion, the best when it comes to mineral sunscreen. It also, because I would further say that the majority of what we do, almost all of what we do, is zinc oxide based, so mineral zinc oxide based sunscreens. It really is the only sunscreen active that is able to be used on a global basis, which is telling you something about how the world views that active, that it is safe, it is readily usable, it is effective, and it is the only globally approved broad spectrum, let me be perfectly clear, broad spectrum sunscreen that is available in the market. So I feel, and we feel, that it's a great foundation for doing the things we talked about before, having science-based skincare that is healthy for you to use, that when done properly with a lot of love and attention and technology, can be used on all types of skin tones.
Yes, I agree. I do love zinc oxide. I think it's great for all skin types. So what kind of products does Solesence create with sunscreen? I know you said that the company creates like different makeups with sunscreen and stuff like that. So what are the products that you create?
Yeah. So we do skincare products. So I'll give you an example. Most of our brands, because your podcast will go to lots of consumers, so we're not able to say who our brand partners are when it's going to consumers, but we whisper it in your ear because you're in the industry. But anyway, but skincare products like your traditional everyday moisturizer, but we also have developed products that are therapeutic, say that offer treatments for blemishes and dark spots and blotchiness that you can wear during the day. That's one of the unique characteristics of our technology, is that not only do we provide great protection for your skin, our technology also protects the active ingredients in the formula so that they remain effective even under UV light, so that you can wear some pretty usual ingredients that would be used as nighttime treatments during the day. We also then we do manufacture different formats. So creams and lotions, sticks. We do compacts, a lot of different formats. We actually will be launching sprays with clients in 2023 as well. And then on the makeup side, we do everything from really sheer, very low coverage products to products that have buildable coverage, and also include, so those may be foundations, but we also will do lip products, eye products as well. So we do a pretty broad range of different types of products to give the consumer and specifically our brand partner lots of ways to serve the consumer with healthy products that offers healthy skincare approaches.
Yeah, that sounds very promising and very exciting. And also, how can we get more people to understand the importance of wearing sunscreen in relation to their skin and health, especially mineral sunscreen, because I know there's like a stigma of a lot of mineral sunscreens. They do leave a white cast on brown skin, black skin, so you kind of don't want that white cast on. So how can we get more people to start wearing it?
Well, first is make it more aesthetically pleasing, right? So that everyone will wear it, which is what we've invested in for really our start. And I'll tell a short story. When we launched our company several years ago, we went to an event, and one person who happens to be now one of our clients, she came by and she saw this product we called Multicultural Magic. And she tried it and she said, "Oh, this product is neither multicultural or magic." And we were like, "Oh, okay." So that was a call to action for me, because we had been pretty successful in terms of launching products, but the person who came by, again, now our brand partner, one of our brand partners, she was a woman of color, probably fits 5 and Fitzpatrick 5, and she challenged us by making that statement. That happens to be one of the reasons that we've continued to develop our portfolio in terms of the zinc oxides that we uniquely use in our formulations. And we now have something we call Clear, K-L-E-A-I-R technology, that is a zinc oxide that's non-nano. It's called Clear because of the transparency on your skin, not because it is transparent. But when it's applied to your skin, you get great transparency, and it is able to be used on fits 1 through 6. And then we've built other technologies along with it to make sure that it's a really technology and products can be inclusive for everyone. So that's number one, make sure that it's available. And then I think making sure that people understand the benefit that comes from it. Making sure that they're recognizing that by wearing these products, they absolutely, certainly protect themselves from skin cancer, but also help to create and maintain the youthfulness of their skin, the health of their skin, the longevity of what they want in terms of their appearance is really preserved by the type of products that we help to build, and hopefully that consumers decide to wear.
Yes. So I do want to get a little bit into sustainability of the brand and the company. And I know that's like a big thing right now is to be more sustainable and environmentally friendly. So consumers also think about the environmental consequences of biodiversity. And for those that don't know, biodiversity is just a variety of living things in life on Earth, and specifically coral reefs. I know in like South Carolina, there were high concentrations of different sunscreens and, you know, I think I'm saying octocrylene, avobenzone, and other sunscreens similar to that And so those sunscreens can damage coral reefs and waterways. What well, first off, is Solesence Coral Reef safe? Is it a safe company for coral reefs? And what is the company doing more sustainable for life on Earth?
Yeah, that's great. Two great questions. So yes, the zinc oxide that we use is considered safe for coral reef because it is free radical quenched. So it's one of the things that in the analysis of what is safe for coral reef, there are these studies that are out there, and they primarily look at these things called free radicals, which basically consume the antioxidants in your skin. They can damage and break down the skin structure. And they do the same thing when it comes to coral reef. In the simplest way of describing it. So what we have done, foundation to our technology, was to make mineral sunscreen actives that are essentially inert when it comes to free radicals. So that's one of the great things. What we've done, and there's plenty to do. I will say that we, like the rest of the industry, are not close to where we need to be when it comes to sustainability. But our process for making zinc oxide itself is essentially a zero waste process. The byproducts from making zinc oxide that we have in our process is zinc, like the zinc that you take in your vitamins.
Yeah.
And it's used actually in animal feed as one of the ways that animals get vitamins like zinc. So it's one of those nice characteristics of our unique manufacturing process. There's other work that we're doing also, and that we've started with a firm called EcoVadis, which is a pretty well established and well-known firm that really helps to establish a sustainable supply chain. So we started that program just this year, and we're actually doing the formal kickoff in our organization in about 3 weeks, the week of the 27th, where we are starting to do the work that's behind the scenes, which is basically making sure that our supply chain, how and where we get products, is as sustainable as it can be. And therefore utilizing manufacturers that make products in a sustainable manner. We're also in the process of moving into or building out a new facility for our business to support the growth that we have. And we're pursuing some sustainable energy sources there as well, which, electricity being probably the number one resource that we use in our business. So that's one of the big goals there, is to look for sustainable resources there, specifically solar, given we're in Chicago. So a little challenging with solar, but there are some sources. It's not quite like California or Florida, but yeah. But there are some sources that we're looking there. We're also looking into some trading relative to other sustainable energy sources as a way of helping to improve our overall sustainability.
Yeah, I think that's excellent. And it actually answered two of my follow-up questions. And I kind of just marvel at how some companies are very technology forward and forward thinking. So I really appreciate the fact that Solesence is doing all of that, because electricity is one of our number one sources of pollution, and having like solar energy to create things and use that as electricity, I think is excellent. So I do have two, you're welcome. I do have two more questions, and that's in regards to working with other companies. So Solesence offers private label products. there are many other private label product companies in skincare. What makes your custom development product experience different from other companies?
Yeah, great question. So there are a few things. So we go to market in three ways with our brand partners. One is what we call our white label products, which have been developed on trend, and they're completely ready to go. So they're SPF products, all the testing is done, everything's ready, and you can choose from the line that's closing in on 20 different items that brands can choose from. What most brands do, I would say probably more than half of the brand partners that we have usually will choose a customized white label product. So what they'll say is, yeah, I love this product, we'll say Beauty Drops as an example, but I want to put my own brand's signature on that product. And so we do have a process where they work with our development team, and they're able to customize the Beauty Drop so that it has a unique signature for that brand. It looks different for that brand, and it enables them to really tell a story that is separate from anyone else that might have chosen Beauty Drops as part of the way for us to help brands really uniquely tell their story. And then last, we do have a custom development process, which we are different than many manufacturers in this way, and that is we don't charge for development. So we don't say, hey, your development's going to be XYZ numbers of thousands of dollars. We work with the brand partner, and we do that free of charge, in large part because I have felt through my years in the industry that that was one of the really roadblocks for novelty, that everyone started watching the clock instead of figuring out what was special that they wanted to deliver to the market. And we wanted to emphasize special that we deliver to the market. Now, of course, the clock is still watched because the world is watching the clock. Retailers want products at a certain time and so forth and so on. But at least you're not watching the clock relative to, oh my God, if I don't get this done right now, then it's going to cost me many thousands more in terms of development. So that's one of the other approaches that we try and take to be different. And then leveraging our patented technologies also helps us to be different, because very few of the companies that do product development have proprietary technologies that are uniquely available to themselves. And I think no one else in that's developing SPF products has that kind of novel sunscreen active technology that's unique to themselves like we do.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that. I haven't seen any other company have something similar to yours actually at all. So I think that's great. And what do you so you did tell me what you offered as a private label brand. If someone were to come to you to start their own brand with their own recipe, how would you approach that?
Yeah, so it's very rare that happens. In part, what we would say, because I being 1000% transparent here, we're probably not the cheapest house around. So if you've already gotten a product that is developed, ready to go, we're not really a cheap manufacturing site, right? But what we've done with some of our brand partners is two things. Number one, if they have a formulation that they think that they believe and is ready to go, then we can sometimes incorporate our novel technology into it and therefore help them to launch their product with us. Or, alternatively, if they say, hey, will you make this thing that's ready to go and help us develop some new product that we work with you, then we'll do that. We try and find a way so that it's still a way that we're collaborating with those partners. So it's a combination of efforts there, depending upon what someone brings to us.
Well, I think that ends our interview, but I do want to say that this was an excellent interview, and thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me. I've learned a lot more about skincare and about the brand Solesence. So what can people do if they want to get in contact with the company or get some of the products?
Yep. So there are a few brand partners that if you look on their website, like there's one brand partner, Color Science, who openly talks about our company as a partner. They were actually they were our very first brand partner when we launched the company. So if you're looking for products that feature that brand, Glytone brand is another one. And there are a couple others that are openly talk about us. I will tell you there's over 200 products in the market. So if you stumble onto a beautiful SPF product, it's a good possibility, a reasonable possibility that it's ours. Or that we worked with that brand partner to develop it. But if they want to get directly in touch with us, say they have an idea for launching their business and they want to work with us to help them get those products to market, they can go to our website at solesence.com, fill out the contact us or contact me field, and we'll be in touch. And it's that easy.
Yes, sounds great. So thank you so much, Kevin. It was wonderful again to talk to you.
You too, Ashley. Thank you very much, and keep up the great work you're doing. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the recording, but before I stop it, can you say, my name is Kevin Cureton and you're watching Get to Know Me.